Mm. This is a bunny sippy cup. Yep, that's right. This is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Ken Kokoszka. Whoa!
You write something on my face?
Ken Kokoszka, how are you, sir?
I am doing great. Happy to be here.
Excellent. It's good to have you on. I've seen you at a couple shows. You were at the first Colorado Festival of Horror.
I made sure to get in on the first year.
Thank you for doing that, and making the event so much more magical.
Yeah, had a blast.
Good. Ken, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and where you come from, and how you got into making art.
All right. Well, I will skip past escaping from a portal to an eldritch dimension.
Wow.
When I landed on this plane of existence, I'm a Colorado native. Happy to be living here my whole life, and I have been drawing and painting and making art for literally before I can remember. But yeah, I'm really lucky that I had some super supportive parents who were very much keyed in to helping me do as much art as I wanted. Did lots of after school art programs, that kind of thing. Went to high school, took every drawing elective that I could squeeze out of that high school. Had an awesome drawing teacher there who basically pulled me aside and basically went, I'm going to give instructions about what we're doing in this class.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Right.
So yeah, I had lots of free reign there. And then after high school, I went to Metro here in Denver and pursued a digital art degree there. And yeah, just plugging along, making art all along the way.
Nice. Your high school career sounds very similar to mine. I had a really supportive art teacher, Ron Nearboss, and incidentally, that was in a rural town called Crosier, about an hour north of here, of Denver.
Okay.
And he just had me enroll in all his electives and stuff, and all his advanced drawing classes and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, learned a lot, did a lot of different things. And the funny thing is we're still buddies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he just lives a half an hour out east of here in Elizabeth.
Oh yeah.
So that makes it pretty convenient. But by chance, do you still stay in touch with your instructors?
Not really. I've kind of been thinking that I want to reach out to him, and be like, hey, here's what I'm up to now. So I probably need to do that.
Right. Yeah, just to give everybody a glimpse of Ken's amazing work, here's one of my favorite pieces that you sent over.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites too.
Oh, it's so sleek, and my favorite thing about this is like the folds in the cloth and in the fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
What is this character that you painted?
So this one, maybe it'll be surprising seeing how many vampires I paint, but I'm a huge fan of Dracula.
Yeah.
And I've got like a collector's edition that has an intro chapter that was removed from the final published version.
Ooh.
Um, and that chapter is about Walpurgis Nacht, which is kind of a Central and Eastern European, I don't want to say holiday, but it's a night when, demons and spirits or monsters are said to walk the earth.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do a painting about that, like a vampire that is, stumbling forth and kind of coming to her bearings and, just about to walk the earth for one night.
Okay. Wow. Nice. The yeah. Do you for this? What was this piece used for? Was it used for a book cover or anything like that? Or
No, this one was purely just like a personal project.
okay.
I do dabble a little bit in illustration, but most of the stuff, especially the stuff I like show off at conventions,
Mhm.
is just purely almost like fine art approach of I made it because I wanted to make it.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so you're doing more, fine art pieces.
Mhm.
Basically, people can buy the original and for prints.
Right.
Um, the that piece in particular, was that digital? Because you mentioned that you went into college for digital arts, but I
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that one is a digital painting. Yeah.
okay, because I've also seen like on your Instagram feed, you know, doing traditional painting and stuff like that. So do you go back and forth quite a bit?
Yeah, it's absolutely a give and take. I kind of feel like I fall in love with one medium and I want to just do painting after painting with that.
Yeah.
And the longer that goes on, the more I miss the unique effects of some other medium.
Right.
So then
Right.
I switch over there until I miss the first one again and just keep rotating.
Nice. Do you, when you're working, do you have like multiple projects going on? Like, are they all in that same medium, or are you able to like start in a painting here and do a digital piece over here?
Usually I get in a deep enough groove that I want to only be working in one medium at a time. Um, and with a digital piece, it's so much easier to pick it up and put it down
Yeah.
whenever I want that I'll usually do one piece and just plug away at that till it's done. But like right now, I'm in an oil painting phase.
Okay.
So I usually have a couple different ones going at once,
Right.
just so I don't ruin one by painting it when it needs to dry.
Right.
So yeah, that I'll juggle a little bit more.
Yeah, well, with oil painting, like in art school, that was always very precarious for me.
Yeah.
I was getting headaches from the turpentine, even the odorless stuff,
Oh, sure.
and then second was the drying time and everything. Are you able to add mediums to help speed that up a little bit, or do you like working with it while it's wet?
I used to be super into adding mediums that accelerated drying. Um, I wanted it to act more like a digital painting
Okay.
where I could just keep going at it.
Yeah.
Um, the more I do it, the more I've grown to love and or accept the unique features of oil.
Mhm.
Um, so mostly it's just oil. Like I just let the paint do what it wants to do.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, we've got this piece is also a favorite of mine that you sent over. Death.
Yeah.
It's from the Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
is it
I
also a digital piece?
Yeah, she's also a digital painting. Yep.
Nice. And yeah, obviously you don't have to wait for anything to dry when it comes to this.
Exactly. And if I want it to act wet, it'll act wet. And if I want it to act dry, it'll act dry. It is like
Hmm.
the best of both worlds. You can smudge things around or you can put things on top without it affecting what's below. yeah, digital painting is just magic. Yeah, I'm very, very much in love with that too.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. I asked earlier, whether some of these are like for covers and everything like that, because I see this as like book cover, quality. And yeah, Neil, if you're watching, hire my friend Ken. You know,
Right? I after I posted that, somebody did tweet that at him, and he did share it. So
oh,
I
cool.
do have that little badge of Neil Gaiman approves this painting.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and then of course, I'm really enjoy your pencil work too. So like this goat, and of course, whenever I see a big goat like this, it's like, oh, nice dark, and kind of has
Mhm.
that gothic feel to it. Kind of alludes to like the whole satanic stuff, but at the same time, like like you probably saw the movie The Witch with
Oh yeah,
a black goat in there that was just so menacing. I guess that's such a
yeah.
presence. Um, so this one, kind of obviously really spoke to me. You know, what's what's the inspiration behind something like this?
So on this one, when it comes to like the medium and creating the work,
Mhm.
another example of me going, okay, oil paints have been fun. I need to work with something that's dry and just stays where I put it.
Mm.
So I just got into like a graphite trend for a while. Um, and then also kind of in contrast to the digital stuff. When I make a digital painting, I save that file and there's no original.
Mm.
So I kind of wanted to celebrate the uniqueness of an original piece of art. So when
Right.
I was doing all of these, I also did embellishments with gold leaf. Because
Oh,
with the
okay.
gold leaf, it's
Yeah.
basically impossible to reproduce.
Yeah.
So, you can see it and it still has a cool effect in the reproduction, but nothing will act like the original will.
Right. Right. That's such a unique thing, characteristic that that gold leafing or silver leafing, has
Sure. Yeah.
that actual metallic element. Yeah.
Right.
That would be pretty hilarious if you could come close to repurposing that in print, with like metallic inks.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can get pretty close, but
Yeah.
you can't totally close the
Yeah.
gap. So
Right.
yeah, that was a fun thing to just play with.
Man,
Um,
that's pretty cool. Do you ever do like live demos working on your stuff? Doing like, you know, especially the gold leafing part?
I mean, I haven't, but it's totally something that I'd be willing to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really satisfying to do gold leaf. You kind of paint on an adhesive and let it get tacky, and you put
Mhm.
the gold on, and after it dries, you brush away everything, and all the gold that isn't on the adhesive goes away.
Right.
So yeah, it's so satisfying to just brush it all off and have it slowly reveal exactly where you want it.
Right. I've never actually done gold leafing. I've seen it done before, but the excess that you brush off, is that material that can be reused later?
Yeah, I mean, depending on the effect you want, if you want like the really perfect flat sheen,
Yeah.
doesn't work so well.
Right.
But I kind of like when it's broken up and chunky and variable. So
Okay.
yeah, I kind of brushed it away into a jar and reused it and reused it and reused it.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Looks like we've got James just says, "Hey, Primo the Clown in the house." He's saying hello.
Hello, hello.
Uh, Man, yeah. So that's really cool that you're able to do that and bring it to the forefront. Looks like also you've got stuff that I would say is probably almost like still life. Yeah,
Mhm.
is this like a study that you did?
So it's kind of like a piece based on Poe's The Raven.
Okay.
So like specifically in that poem, when the raven first comes in, it lands on a bust of Athena. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's just like the moment the raven comes in and starts
Yeah.
harassing this poor guy.
Nice. Yeah. Is this also a digital piece or is this oil?
Yeah, this one's digital as well.
Okay. Man. Yeah. These are absolutely fantastic. Um, your pencil work is so remarkable as well. Was like realism or photorealism always something that you were really strived for?
I mean, not always.
Mhm.
I mean, when I was younger, I am of the generation that watched Toonami after school every day.
Okay.
So I got really into anime for a while.
All right.
Um, but yeah, as I kind of matured a little bit, like realism that's kind of got a knob of surreal turned up just a little bit
Yeah.
is really where my heart's at.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah. It's I've met with a number of artists that work in similar fields of realism, but they're I see them doing like book covers and concept design. So
Mhm.
it's really satisfying to see an artist like yourself doing stuff that just caters to what you feel like doing in that moment. Um,
Yeah.
is it usually like horror themed that really inspires you the most, or is there other areas that you really other genres that you really like to dabble into?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely other genres, like kind of like a more straight fantasy. Really enjoyed that for a while. And even like paleo art, like illustrating dinosaurs and stuff, that
Right.
was definitely something I focused on for a bit. Um, but
That's
yeah,
cool.
like my heart is horror. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this is a dead, black, shriveled little heart, and yeah, horror's what I use to fill that hole.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did mention that you came here from kind of an elder god portal of sorts. It's so it seems like obviously Lovecraft might be a big influence.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
I've read a handful of almost everything Lovecraft has written. Yeah,
nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah. When you sit down to do an oil painting, like obviously that's going to take a little bit longer compared to working digitally, but
yeah.
you, what size are you usually working at?
So with my oils, I'm usually 9 by 12 at the smallest,
Mhm.
but not too much bigger than that. Maybe like I don't know, up to like 16 inches.
Okay.
Um, Kind of keeps it at a big enough that I'm not painting with like a needle,
Mhm.
but not so big that I'm chasing canvas or the canvas
Right,
around with paint.
right, right. Oh, that's cool. With your figure work, I'd imagine in art school you probably did a lot of like life studies, drawing from life models and things existing in nature. Um, would you recommend for artists starting out to go seek that out?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I had done more when I was in college. In kind of our lower level drawing classes, we had like a few dedicated life drawing sessions,
Okay.
and I didn't really pursue much beyond that.
Mm.
And now that I know how important those fundamentals are, I really wish I could go back in time and shake some sense into myself.
Well, yeah, because when I look at your work, I would have thought that um, you did that pretty extensively. Let me see if, come on, this one's not wanting to click on. Let's try this one. Wow. For some reason, none of the images want to click on now.
We broke them.
Oh man, what did we do? Oh, there. Oh, now. from life seems very ever present. Yeah, in a piece like this, but you still get the surrealness. I mean, the blood splatter and everything. And oh,
There we go. Looks like we're back.
okay. Oh, I didn't even realize we lost you. Oh no. Oh,
But yeah, looks like you got the image pulled back up.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, with this one, oh, having trouble connecting. This often is caused by unstable. Great. Sounds like I'm having internet problems on my end here. You okay over there?
Yeah, it seems to be working on my side.
Okay, okay. Um, what I was mentioning before before we seem to have gone off the air was that you seem to have a really solid knowledge of you know anatomy depth, working from real life, but you're totally just working from. Are you using any models or anything, or is this just completely made up?
So it's a lot of working from photo reference.
Okay.
So yeah, I do a lot of studies, and a lot of times I'm kind of cobbling together multiple photo references to get the person that I want. Um, but yeah. So it's if if you can't work directly from a live model, then I'm working directly from a photo reference.
All right. Remove that. Okay. Sorry
There you
about.
go.
Oh, we are having all kinds of technical problems.
We'll blame my eldritch influence.
Oh man, yeah, you. Jeez, this is pretty ridiculous. Sorry about that. All right, let's see if we can get through this. Yeah. So yeah, the work is just absolutely amazing. You mentioned you're using some photo references and
Mhm.
stuff, but yeah, you've got an exquisite knowledge of working from life, which from my perspective is like, holy crap, I thought you did a lot more life study than you indicated.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely did it, but I think that the more you can do it at the earliest stages of your learning,
Mhm.
it'll like exponentially help you.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it was a lot of learning how important it is by
Mm.
not having the knowledge and then circling back around and trying to cram that knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, yeah, those fundamentals are incredibly, key, and obviously, like perspective, foreshortening, depth perception, all of those, and also, having a good sense of, color palette. Uh, with that, what are the, some of the upcoming projects that we get to see come from the talent that is Ken.
Sure. So, we've mentioned my oil paintings a couple times. So right now I'm a little bit more than halfway through a series of oil painting vampire portraits.
Great.
Um, and they've been really fun. I've been using like the same super limited color palette on all of them, so they look super nice and cohesive together. Um, I've been kind of holding them close to my chest, except for like at conventions, because I don't want them to sell until I have them all together.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I have them behind me. I can grab like the latest one that I did.
Yeah,
And
I think I see one in the casket.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
So
that's
I'll
cool.
show this off. So
Yeah, I saw that on
um,
Instagram. That is
yeah,
sharp.
yeah, I'm really happy with this one.
Oh man, it's yeah. The reds pop really well. Yeah, color palettes and thinking about them, especially in horror genre,
Mhm.
can be so effective to drive home like the simplest ideas.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I've really been liking kind of doing really simple, iconic compositions. It's just a portrait. There's not a
Mhm.
lot going on in the background, and then it really allows small details and intense colors to just really pop.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Dawn just popped in and she says, absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Dawn is heads up the Colorado Goth Society. She helps organize a number of events and stuff too.
Okay, cool. It sounds like my people.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, and with that, you're doing this series. We haven't talked about, if you're doing any, gallery work. Are you getting ready for any gallery shows, or do you pursue that?
I mean, it's something that I kind of think about.
Mhm.
Um, but mostly like conventions keep me real busy. And all of this art stuff I'm doing on the side. I have a day job,
Yeah,
so it really lets me just pursue my own little interest, and kind of take my time. So, I mean, if I found a gallery opportunity that really sounded up my alley, I would jump for it. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's kind of nice to just do my work and show it off at convention and just go directly to people who like it.
nice. Now, before we hopped on, went live, and then crashed a couple times. um, we were talking about doing D&D during COVID, and that
Yeah.
you were doing a lot of that online.
Mhm.
Also during COVID, were you able to really focus on creating more art and everything?
So, yes and no.
Okay.
The start of the pandemic absolutely destroyed all creative motivation I had.
Oh no.
Um, but I'll give a shout out to my friend Jake. He pointed me towards like this little DC Comics fan art thing they were doing online,
Oh,
and
cool.
that's what I did that death illustration for.
Oh, nice.
Um, so yeah, he kind of poked me a little bit, and I was like, okay, I can't not draw death.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I picked my digital pen back up, and yeah, so it pulled up from there. I didn't like have a crazy period of productivity, but
Mhm.
I kind of kept it normal from that.
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah. Kudos to your friend for prodding you to pick up the digital pen again. You, you know, while you were having a little bit of that downtime,
Mhm.
were you able to connect with friends and online doing Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, yeah, it was always good to have dedicated blocks of time to be like, we're all going to hang out and pretend to kill dragons and vampires and all that nonsense.
Oh, that's awesome. You mentioned you had like some like three different campaigns going on at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, too many, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep doing that to myself. So
yeah. Yeah, and that's a favorite pastime of yours.
mhm.
How did you get into doing that? Was that when you were like drawing and painting more fantasy art?
Yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, I got into it in college.
Okay.
And it's like usually there's one guy who gets all the books and wrangles his friends together and says, "We're gonna do this." I was that guy.
No,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so but yeah, so I mean, I think I started playing D&D in 2008, so it's
Cool.
been plugging along since then.
Nice. Oh man, that's awesome. And you're still doing like what, two of the campaigns left over from the COVID, the
Yeah.
before times.
Yes, from the before times, from before the world ended.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. With that, on some of your adventures, do you ever like? And this is kind of a weird question, but does that ever inspire you to go back and like do the occasional fantasy piece or something?
I mean, it does. one of my friends is being very patient and generous with me. I owe him an illustration of his character,
Ooh,
um, and he's letting me get around to it when it strikes me.
yeah, nice. Do you find that working you really got to be in the mood to do it, or are you like after you get home from work, you're like, okay, got to paint?
Usually, I can just sit down and do it.
Okay.
Um, I guess it's just a function of my personality. If I'm supposed to do something, I have no desire to do it.
Mm,
Uh,
right, right, right. I understand that.
so even if the only one telling me I'm supposed to do it is me, somehow that part of the brain kicks in.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I'm usually pretty good about. I can just get into a creative mode. I'll throw on a horror movie or a documentary or something, and
nice.
sit there painting and watch the blood, and then watch the blood I'm painting, and then watch the blood on the TV.
Make sure it matches up.
Yeah, right.
Oh, theirs is a little bit brighter.
How
uh,
do I get that splashing?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to really study that. Yeah. Well, I think at that point too, like horror movies can be the write-off because it's like, oh well, this is like my second career, and
Exactly.
like this is a photo, this is a reference.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's research.
Yeah, nice, nice, exactly. Oh, that man, that would be really cool. So when you're working, what are you watching in the studio, Ken?
Um, I try to watch things that I've seen before,
Okay.
so that I don't get too distracted by whatever's on.
Ah,
Um,
smart.
but if I don't know what to watch, I usually go back to Only Lovers Left Alive. Um,
So good.
yeah,
Yeah, Jim.
I can. That's a movie where if it's on, I will sit down and watch it. Yeah.
Nice.
But that, or like whatever horror documentary I can find on Shutter.
Mm,
Um, and then I love the documentary, like the paranormal documentary series Hellier.
okay, I'm
Um,
not familiar with that one.
okay, that you got to check that one out.
Okay.
Um, it's a documentary that's less about the case that this group is investigating and more
Mm,
about what it's like to do a case.
okay.
Um, so yeah, it's I don't know, it's kind of like meta. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but watch it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like about the procedural, right?
Yeah, and like how weird the procedural gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh,
I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, I've watched that series like 5 times.
nice. Yeah, growing up, drawing and painting and everything. Like, what was like the books and films that you were that really inspired you?
Right. So, the more I think about it, the more I realize that I didn't have a chance of not being a horror fan.
Okay.
Um, my mom was a big reader, and like her number one author was Stephen King. So
Oh.
like even before I was like aware or reading it, like the books were around,
Mhm.
and when mom wasn't looking, I'd pull one off the shelf and read the synopsis and open it up and just get like a weird taste of whatever the heck was going on.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, one of the books that I snuck off with was Cycle of the Werewolf.
Ooh.
So yeah, those Bernie Wrightson like ink pen werewolf illustrations, yeah, like blew my mind when I was a kid.
Yeah, he just recently passed away. Like what, in the last 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah, not long ago.
Yeah, and yeah, he was a tremendous talent for anybody who's out there. If you're not familiar with Bernie Wrightson, look him up. He's kind of the quintessential Swamp Thing artist
Hmm.
on the Alan Moore run specifically, and then just just did all kinds of concept and book illustrations. Stephen King's The Stand did those interior illustrations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and when I was a kid and I was trying to read that, I couldn't get past his illustrations because they were so graphic. Yeah.
Right.
Not,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, not to mention that Stephen King's descriptions in that book were incredibly graphic too. The disease stuff. That's
Oh yeah.
like, oh man, all those pustules, being described. It was like, man, I don't think I'm going to get too far into this.
Yeah, well, especially in 2020, all I could
Oh,
think of was
yeah.
there's that chapter that's just about like the exponential spread,
Yeah.
and it's just like so and so got on a plane and he gave it to these people and then they got home and went to their families. It's like it's just a whole chapter of that, and I was like, oh fun, like this
Yeah.
is a great illustration of what we're living through.
Yeah. The work is beautiful and stuff, and just the most god awful way.
Yeah, I mean that's horror.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's cool. So yeah, Stephen King and Bernie Wrightson were early influences of yours. You was that is Bernie like your favorite artist, or do you have somebody that you gravitate towards more?
Man, that's such a good question.
Mm.
It's
I know.
so hard to pick just one. I'd say
Yeah.
the one that influenced me for the longest was probably Frazetta.
Ooh,
Um, and even when he's doing like the more heroic sword and sandal fantasy stuff,
yeah.
I can still really dig into like the super dark shadows and how kind of
Mm.
figures emerge out of the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that his figurative, work, yeah, it was just, so striking, and you could see that it's his work from quite a distance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very distinct. Yeah, it's God, that's awesome. Yeah, Frazetta and Bernie Wrightson. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, those are some amazing artists. Yeah, at the pinnacle of their talent and for their times too.
For sure. Yeah.
You know when when you go on like a platform like Instagram, I mean
Mhm.
it is saturated. It is a platform that's saturated with just amazing talent. Do you ever just
Yeah.
like sit there and just like get lost and all that and like, okay, this is amazing. I gotta get to work and do mine, and kind of sharing that zeitgeist.
Oh yeah. What kills me are like when an artist does like a draw this in your style challenge.
Oh, okay.
They make a piece, post it, and say like, "Hey, make your version of this thing I made."
Oh,
Oh
right.
yeah, like I save those all day long. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got one of those that I'm in the middle of trying to figure out right now.
Oh,
But
cool.
yeah,
Can
it's
we ask
super
what it
fun
is?
to kind of participate in it, like when it's live and vital like that.
Mm,
It's
nice.
happening right now.
Nice. Can we ask what that one challenge is that you're contemplating?
I mean, yeah, it was just like a really cool kind of surrealistic gothy portrait of a woman in profile, and she has
Oh,
like a lot of like bird feather accents to her
okay.
accoutrement.
Ooh,
So I'm gonna switch all the bird feathers to bat wings, and go from there.
nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, man. Well, that'll be pretty fun to see, and it'll be original creation of yourself. I was thinking that they were probably putting out there like somebody's like fan art or something like that. Somebody else's
Oh,
creation.
gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I myself have not participated in something like that. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, going forward too as an artist, is there like any medium that you have yet to tackle that you want to approach?
As far as new mediums, that's a really good question. I'm playing around with resin a little bit. I
Okay.
kind of want to do paintings that have a lot of depth. So, pour some resin,
Oh yeah.
paint on that, let it dry, pour some more, do some more painting, let it dry, etc., etc. So yeah, I got one that I've tested the waters on, but
Yeah.
it was kind of just enough to get some of the principles to go, okay, yeah, I can figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah. And I know what you're talking about. I've seen that a lot. You go on again Instagram, and you
Right.
can see like those time lapse video reels of somebody. It's usually like fish, right? Because
Hmm.
like, oh, clear water and everything, and you do it in layers. And it's such an effective tool. But
Right.
for you to do it like a portrait, like a goth or a gothic themed portrait or something like that, man, I would absolutely kill to see that sense of depth and
Yeah. See, and
ooh,
that's kind of the trend I've noticed too, is I see that a lot of beautiful work with that, and it's usually much more, I guess, high key. So yeah, to do the same technique but kind of build up a dark atmosphere
yeah,
from back to front. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what's getting its hook in me.
yeah, making that thing feel moody, but that at the same time that illusion of depth, or even like
Yeah,
to a limited degree, like 3D as well.
right.
Yeah. Oh man, that's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see you do something like that and bring it to the next Colorado Festival of Horror.
Exactly. Yeah, it won't be long.
Yeah.
I got a couple vampires to knock out, and then that's probably what going to be my next traditional media project.
Oh my gosh. You think, because I know resin as well. I usually do casting in resin, nothing to what you're doing, but what kind of resin are you using?
Um, that's a good question. I am not educated enough on the specifics of resin to probably name drop it, but
Okay.
it's definitely made to kind of be like thin layers.
Okay. Okay.
It's not like the casting resin that's like
Nice.
full 3D and then it still cures right.
Right.
Um, but
Right.
yeah,
That's good. It's hopefully it's not too toxic, so that you can work in close
yeah.
proximity with it. I once had a nasty resin casting accident in the studio where I got resin curing underneath my fingernails.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a blast.
Man, that crippled me for the day. I thought I was dying, and I couldn't reach the phone to operate it to call that.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh,
So luckily it cured, and it was just bad. So, kids at home, make sure, even when you're wearing protective gear, double it up, because
yeah.
you never know. Make sure it's well ventilated and stuff. There is non-toxic resins out there, but man, be careful. So sounds like you're using it pretty safe if you're able to do, since it's the non-casting stuff.
Yeah, read the instructions.
Yeah, very much so. Mm. But yeah, it's what you're doing sounds absolutely amazing. Because yeah, 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 it'll have that finish like a varnish, that sense of depth. And just that fluidity that's
Yeah,
naturally built into something like resin. And it's probably something that, like, unless you're an artist, like an illustrator or a sculptor, you might not be able to relate to. But this is the stuff that gets me excited.
yeah, for sure. I mean, so much of kind of sticking with the long process of
Yeah.
completing a painting is loving the way it feels tactilely when
Right.
you're doing it.
Right.
So yeah, just really kind of just reveling in the materials, I guess.
Yeah. Do you ever? I've never asked this of somebody that works in digital, but since you work in all these different mediums, do you ever feel um, like that fulfillment in digital where it's tactile enough. I mean, it's a screen, you can touch it. You know, you've
Mhm.
got the digital pen and everything. You can touch it, but I mean, you definitely don't have that original piece in the
Right.
same sense that you have like here's an oil painting. It's you know it's material on canvas and everything like that. But you know, do you have a similar sensibility when it's digital, or you know what's I guess what's you know when you reach the end, what's
Mhm.
that sensation of completion? You know, um, when you're done.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true that it's not the same as a traditional drawing or painting.
Yeah.
Um, but I also kind of feel like I know when a painting's done when I can look at it from halfway across the room
Mhm.
and I can like nothing's jumping out at me.
Yeah.
So you can still get that. Like I can still get up, get away from the monitor, look at it, and be like, yeah, nothing's making me uncomfortable. Like, oh God, I need to go fix this. So you still get that sense of completion.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, no matter what, it's a bunch of ones and zeros on your hard drive. It's
Right.
not, a physical piece of wood with paint on it.
Right.
So yeah, it's the artifact is missing at the end of the process.
At least storage is much easier.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. And I also kind of can look at it the other way, and it's like a digital painting is like 100% democratic. Like
Mm,
there's no original, like no owner is privileged more than any other.
okay.
So, like I
Yeah.
can sell a print and every print is as equal the piece as every other print.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of cool too. I mean
Yeah.
it's just how do you look at it?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. I've never thought about prints and in such a kind of a political term in
Yeah.
terms of the medium itself. That's interesting. Wow. Um, so you know with events kind of queuing up and you're going out and doing more conventions and everything like that, how what is your takeaway on like some of the pop culture today, specifically horror genre?
I mean that's a good question. I would probably say I feel way happier with the direction horror is going now.
Hmm.
Um, Specifically, I am so in love with like Mike Flanagan. Um,
Mm, okay.
I
Yeah.
think literally anything he puts out, I am so in love with it.
Midnight
Um,
Mass.
yeah, Midnight Mass. Like this past weekend, I watched Hush. I'm trying to like get caught up on his back catalog.
Hmm.
So yeah, I watched Hush and Doctor Sleep this week.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Dr. Sleep, that was a good one too.
yeah,
Wow, what
uh,
a tough subject to approach. The
yeah,
sequel to the book The Shining, and
hmm
also the kind of sequel to the movie uh,
yeah,
Kubrick.
yeah. Like trying to kind of take both and do a sequel that honors both of them.
Yeah, I mean that is tough. I thought it was a pretty successful film. I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, and like the like monster design when like the psychic vampires are like melting was
Yeah,
horrifying.
yeah,
Like, oh, I loved it. The silver glow in their eyes and everything.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that's
I was all
cool.
about it.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of great things to look forward to and everything. But, yeah, going to a show, what do you and seeing the patrons coming and everything.
Mhm.
What do you look forward to with engaging with them about your art?
So my favorite thing is that I'm a super low pressure sales guy when I'm tabling at a convention
Okay.
because I know how I think about art.
Yeah.
Like nobody in the world could sell me on a piece if it wasn't talking to me.
Yeah.
Um, but if I see a piece that I have to have, like nothing's going to stop
Mhm.
me from getting it. So I just love when, there's somebody who sees you from across the show floor and they just make that beeline and they're like, that, give it to me. And it's just like, yeah, like if this is talking to you like that, then we're on the same frequency.
Cool. Wow, that's a great way to to think about that. Because I think I've run into so many artists that have such a difficult time like making that connection, selling their works, selling themselves too.
Sure.
It's because so much of us artists are inherently introverted and
Oh
that
yeah, guilty.
that wanting to make the human connection, not only just to connect with people, but let alone trying to sell your wares, is inherently difficult.
Sure.
So yeah, my hat's off when you're able to uh, not only make money at it, but also connect with people who love art, love the genre,
Right.
and can kind of create a community around those things.
Yeah, and I have more of those interactions the more I lean into the work that I want to do for myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I used to do, a lot more like fan art and stuff,
Okay.
and I'd still make sales, but it's almost like, you know, they weren't buying my art, they were buying Link from Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
But the more I do this, I mean, the only way to get that is through me.
Yeah.
So yeah, when people buy the stuff that you're super invested in, like that's when things really start to work out.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Ken, we're about out of time. I want to thank you for being so generous with your time and coming on the show and talking about your artwork and everything.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah,
Anytime.
excellent. For everybody that's out there, make sure you go to Ken. I'm butchering.
I'll help you out. Kokoszka.
Yeah, Ken Kokoszka. On ArtStation and on Instagram.
Yep.
Make sure to get those screen grabs of the scrolling bar down below and go find his work and support amazing artists. Art is what makes the world go around, whether it's film or music or design. I mean, hell, your house had to be designed, god damn it.
Yeah.
But Ken, thanks for coming on the show and chatting. And I'm a big fan of your artwork and yourself. You're a lovely human being.
Hey, thanks. I'm happy to know that I'm passing as human.
Excellent. Yeah, good. It's working. Oh, cool. Hang around for a few minutes while we sign off.
Cool.
But for everybody that tuned in, thanks so much for coming on and learn more about Ken's work. And of course, to our friends at Mutiny Information Cafe, if you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And of course, our friends at Hellfire Entertainment, thank you for rebroadcasting us on your social media. And Groovy TV, we lost Groovy a few years ago, but we carry on in his stead. And of course, to Alien Donut Films, Bill and Angela over there, thanks for putting up with my shenanigans. And my producers, Stephen Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong. Everybody out there, thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to take care of each other. Look out for each other during these tough times and stay spooky. And we'll catch you next time. Have a good night, everybody. We'll